I talk, you listen, or you turn the channel. Either way, I'm still going to talk. Welcome to Unfiltered. Another great week's gone by, and I've accomplished basically nothing. All right, now I did. Worked a little bit more planning for the upcoming shows. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I want to start by going back to a subject I covered last week. I was talking about the city council and the fact that certain people in town don't think that we should spend the money for more firefighters. And then I showed the Orange County chopper clip. And I never got back to what an important and horrible job it is to be a firefighter. And I don't think anybody realizes it. You can watch firefighters work, sure. You can be rescued by a firefighter. You can have a firefighter come to your house when it's on fire. You still will not understand what it's like to be a firefighter. I was a volunteer in Marlboro for 2 years. Went through 3 or 4 training weekends at Meadowwood. Yes, Meadowwood, over in Troy. Now, I don't know if they still do the training over there or not in Meadowwood, but back in the mid-'80s, when I was attached with the Marlboro Fire Department, they held training sessions twice a year at Meadowwood, and it's a beautiful training facility over there. But I've got to tell you, the first course that a firefighter takes is breathing apparatus. And there is no worse feeling than after you go through the entire course, your test is you put the breathing apparatus on in under 30 seconds. I believe it was under 30 seconds or under a minute. And then they've taped paper inside your mask. And they send you into a room to bring out the body, which is just a bunch of hose stapled together, and it weighs about 200 pounds. But you have to go in without the use of sight, just like you would in a smoke-filled building. And believe me, when you go into a smoke-filled building, you cannot see anything. Everything is done by feel. And the thing that got me when I went into it, my first house fire, was everything was black, and I had the hose, and all of a sudden I saw just a little glimmer of red. Just a flicker through the darkness. And that's where you aim the hose. But in the training building, there's no smoke, so you're not really in any danger, and you know that it's safe, but you get disoriented. When air starts to run low, every one of those air bottles has a warning bell. It gives you it tells you you've got 5 minutes left of air. Now, when you start hearing bells go off, and people's bells ring at different times because people consume oxygen at a different rate. So you hear the first bell go off, and then 2 or 3, 4 or 5 more bells start ringing. And all this is going, you're hearing it, you're sensing the guys who are running low on air. Of course, their bell's ringing, they're breathing faster. So their 5 minutes of air is now turning into 3 minutes of air. And you can't see, you can't hear at this point, because all you hear is the bells that everybody's air is running out, and then your bell starts to ring. And yes, you do breathe faster, your heart pounds. Meanwhile, you're following a hose, bumping into furniture, tripping over things, walking into walls. It's a very claustrophobic and scary feeling until you've done it, you get used to it. And just that one simple fact, if everybody would go to the fire department and say, put me in an oxygen, an SCBA is what they're called, get a normal person in there with a blacked out thing, and then lead him around and show people, it's, plus the fact that firemen on top of the, whatever the Scott air tank weighs, and their protective fire coat and pants and boots, and, boots, however many gallons of water a boot will hold, that weight adds up, plus all the tools that you're carrying into a fire and the amount of work that you're doing. This is not an easy job by no means. And it's a job that people, as little kids, look up to firefighters. Adults, you grow out of that phase where you go, oh, I want to be a firefighter. Everybody grows out of that. But even as an adult, look at the firefighters and respect them. They've got one of the hardest jobs in the world. Like, plain and simple. And their hours stink. Their pay, from what I hear, isn't, guys that play games, baseball players, football players, things like that, they make a ton more money than fire departments do, than firefighters. But I don't know. But that's what I wanted to say. Firefighters are police, the most important two jobs in any city or any area. I don't know. You could probably do with less city councilmen, more firemen, and you wouldn't notice a difference. Because when a big fire breaks out, the city councilmen aren't rushing to help the town. They just, we'll address that, at the next city council meeting. But anyway, support your firefighters, support your police officers. They're the people that will save your life. All right, other news this week. Tiger Woods just won the U.S. Open. I don't know if it was, which number it was. I've heard 12 to 14, I think, majors is now what he's won. And I believe he's 2 wins behind, what did you say, Rob? Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus. Yeah. 2 wins behind Jack Nicklaus. But that was the good news. And what a great golf match this weekend. If you tuned in for the whole thing, you spent a lot of time in front of the TV. But you also ended up taking the day off from work on Monday when they held the playoff round. And wouldn't you know, 18th hole of the playoff round, tie score into sudden death. And Tiger finally pulled it out. He got a birdie, I guess, on the last hole and won. And he was so happy. His family's so happy. The whole world's happy for Tiger. He just earned another $50 million or whatever. But he tore his ACL and will now be out of golf for the rest of the season. And I don't even know if golf has a disabled list or not. But apparently, it's just one of these things, and golfers don't play every tournament anyway. They pick and choose which tournaments they're going to play.
He basically plays majors.
Yeah.
The ones he really likes playing.
The majors are the ones, once you attain that level, you play what? How many majors are there in a year?
6.
There's like 6? 6 rounds of golf in a year? And that's your workload? That's pretty sweet. But now he'll go through this surgery and rehab, physical therapy, and all that. Just like, he's probably got the best doctors in the world, the best sports doctors. And he'll probably be up and walking on it in a month. Then he'll be back, 3 months. These young athletes heal so quick these days. Now, a lot of these guys, an operation like that, one of the major parts of the operation is to help speed healing. There will be some sort of steroids used, either shots or, and it's not to gain an advantage. It's to speed the healing process. Is all that a lot of these guys do. And if they're administered right, then it'll work. Maybe. I don't know. But you don't hear an awful lot about steroids in golf. I mean, that's one of those things, you know. If anybody's doing steroids in golf, it's probably like John Daly. You know, because he's the only guy that can hit a ball like 2.5 miles or something, you know.
It's all blubber.
But yeah, I mean, he's a big old fat. He's got a lot of stuff to put into that swing. And, you know, and that's what it is. It's the swing. You get that perfect swing, and the smallest guy can hit the ball forever. All right. So enough about Tiger. Another rich cat. Other winners. New England is a proud area this year. We've got the Red Sox are champions, the Patriots are champions,
No.
well, they have
The
been
AFC
champions.
champions.
The AFC champions, all right.
Not Super Bowl champions.
But they have been Super Bowl champions within the past few years.
Right.
And now, after,
22.
22 years, the Celtics have won a championship.
Yeah.
And Game 7, no, they won it in Game 6.
Game 6.
It was a blowout.
And they quit after.
From the blow of the first whistle, it was a blowout. I think I glanced up because I was working, and I glanced up at the TV, and it was like 30-7. And I was like, these guys might just walk off the field, off the court now. You know, the one thing that really got me was how old Bill Russell looked.
He looked,
Yeah, he looked like that character from the Disney flick there, Zippity Doodah. That old guy. You know the old black guy with the scruffy beard and stuff? That's what Bill Russell looked like. Old white beard, and I mean, but if you're old like that, shave. It will make you look younger. Don, I mean, this guy has got like spotty, not even a good beard like Bruce. Horrible looking beard. But, yeah, I mean, he's one of the greats, and he deserves to look and act and be however he wants to be. Because, I mean, even from all those years back, he's still loaded, you know. All right. So that's it for sports, I guess. And now we've got a special treat tonight because I managed to get a weather report. And now, here's Bubbles with the weather. Sounds wet. Thank you, Bubbles. That was amazing. That's kind of cool. That was my buddy's daughter that I went out and visited in New York. And she actually wrote that little bit, the Bubbles. She didn't have the whole TV thing to go with. She just had a little toy that made a bubbling sound. And she came out one day and she says, and now here's Bubbles with the weather. She hit the little bubbly thing and moved her mouth and then said, thank you, Bubbles. That was amazing. A 10-year-old girl. One of my best comedy writers so far. I'll steal them from anybody. I don't care. All right, let's get into crew call now. Oh, all right, let me talk about the upcoming show while they get ready for crew call. No, but see, I did tell Andrea that if I did drop anything, Bruce, and it got late, that I would drop the upcoming show part. But she didn't see. It's lack of communication in the control booth. But that's all right. Or I might have just imagined I told Andrea. I don't know. Sometimes sometimes I lose my mind. Thank you, Rob. Anyway, the upcoming show, we finally got it planned. I've got the guests lined up. We will be filming the Woodstock show on July 10th and airing it on July 11th. And I'm hoping it's going to be a 1-hour show. If we find during filming that we didn't cover enough, well, then we'll keep going during the taping and we'll air it as a 2-part special. So, but I think we can get through it in an hour. Touch on the basic stuff. All right. Cross that one off, Bruce. And now we'll go to crew call. Back with us on camera one is Rob. Finally settled into the new place up there in Harrisville. And out of school for the year.
That's right.
Super. How'd you do? Good grades?
My report card back in, so.
All right. Well,
they're going to be good grades. Say that right now.
we will report them on the show.
Well, all right.
Excellent. just so we let everybody else know that this isn't screwing up your education.
All right.
On camera three, we've got Greg back again. He was a little on the downside, or no, your daughter had a thing last week, so it was fun. We had to turn cameras using our minds, and Bruce actually had to get up and wander around and do more stuff than just sitting in there. But tonight, he's just sitting in there with Andrea in the booth.
How you doing out there, Rick?
All right, how are you, Bruce?
We're doing all right. Doing
Yeah.
all right.
We finally got some rain.
Yes.
Nice.
Andrea was not pleased about it. The rain hurts her.
Well,
Pressure changes.
not so much the rain,
The
it's just
weather,
that low
yeah.
pressure when that sits over us like it has been the last few days.
Yeah, she hasn't been having a good time with it, but
No.
no, it's been a decent week. I want to wish my mother a happy birthday. It was her birthday this week.
Oh, and it
past
was your
Wednesday.
birthday too this week.
Yes, it was my birthday this past Sunday.
Happy
I turned
birthday,
43. Getting to be an old man. I'm still one of the younger guys on the crew, though. Rob's got me beat by a couple of years.
43, but if you add them together, he's only 7.
I act like it sometimes. But no, it's been a lot of fun. June's always a busy month for me and my family because we got a lot of birthdays and anniversaries and all kinds of stuff going on. So
Right.
it's a busy and expensive month with all the gifts and things that go back and forth. So,
Yeah.
but fortunately this week my guy won, so I got a couple extra bucks in my pocket because of that.
All right.
Junior's
Nice.
first win for the year. But I get ahead of myself. That's Andrea's job.
Toot your horn, honey.
But, yeah, it was a tight one there at the end. He was running low on fuel, and he said coming to take the white flag, it started to sputter on him. So, and we were like, man, we need a caution. When the white flag came out, I was like, we need a caution. And then we saw like 3 cars bang up and smash and wreck down the front stretch. So caution came out, and Junior got to coast it around. So
Nice.
finally took the checkers. It was a good deal. But I'm going to let Andrea fill us in on the rest of the stuff.
All right. And personally, I think, if your guy wins, Bruce, you should be able to announce that your guy won. Yeah. You're not stealing that much thunder from Andrea anyway.
Okay, good.
I'm actually glad to relinquish that to Bruce because I tell you what, my guy was further back, so when he's out of the mix, then I always root for Junior. And all I could think of is, please let this race get over. I want to breathe again. I was holding my breath. When you hold your breath on a 2-mile track, that's a long time. But, oops. Yep, Bruce told me to sit up straight. Sorry.
Oh,
I slouch.
that's all right.
But he's the director. He has the right. So, anyways, I'll give you the first 5 guys to finish at Michigan. And as Bruce told you, Junior came in, and he was coasting. He was pretty much sucking fumes. But then it was Casey Kane, and he had an outstanding finish. That's like several weeks in a row. He's done really well. Matt Kenseth, best finish for the year, came in 3rd. Brian Vickers, 4th, and Tony Stewart came up 5th. So that was really good for them. They had good finishes and really needed it. Matt Kenseth is not in the top 12, but that at least gives him a start at it. But I'll give you the 12 for the standings, and then I got a little piece of just regular old news. Kyle Busch is still first in the point standing. Then there's Jeff Burton and Dale Jr. And Jr. came up a lot, so he's only 84 points out of first now. Then there's Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin. He dropped a place, Rick. I'm sorry. He's down in the 6 now. Casey Kane came up 2 more spots. Then there's Greg Biffle, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, and Clint Boyer. So they're pretty much sticking around the same spots. You know, the middle of them is kind of shifting a little bit. But anyways, little piece of news is that the little skunk, Kyle Busch, has decided that he is not going to try to win the title for the Craftsman truck or the Nationwide Series. He's pretty much been screwing up, and he's been really pissing off a lot of guys. He spun out Hornaday in the truck race. Now, Hornaday had been leading the points. Hornaday is now in 3rd in the points. So he kind of really pissed Hornaday off, and Hornaday said he's going to get him. That payback, he's going to do some payback. And when Hornaday says he's going to pay him back, Hornaday does. But anyways, then the number 31, which is driven by Jeff Burton, is going to have a new sponsor next year. It's going to be the Caterpillar, the cat car.
Oh, yeah.
And if everybody remembers correctly, his brother Ward actually drove the cat-sponsored car. I believe it was the 22. Mm-hmm. And he drove it, and he won the Daytona 500 in that. So that was just really excellent for him.
Very good.
And it's a great sponsor. It's a great sponsor. They've been in the series for a long time. Right. The other thing, and this is just a little tidbit, on June 19th, 1949, and this is for all you ladies out there that are NASCAR lovers, and for all you people that say, why haven't they ever had women? Well, they have. June 19th, 1949, the first woman NASCAR driver raced at Charlotte, and which is now the Lowe's Motor Speedway, but it was at Charlotte at the time it was called, and she qualified 13th out of 33 drivers. And she was driving a car, number 71, that was owned by her husband, Frank. Now, later on in the season, she drove at what they called, I'm going to have to read it. Her name was Sarah Christian, by the way. July 10th, she drove at the Daytona Beach Road Course. And I didn't realize Daytona Beach had a road course, but apparently at that time they did. And she raced in that. She raced against her husband, and she was joined by 2 other female race drivers in that race. So it's really kind of interesting. I myself did not realize that the women went back quite that far.
Yeah, that is
But
interesting.
anyways, that's pretty much all there is everybody's kind of behaving themselves after those 2 big point slams and suspensions. They've all been behaving themselves, but we're off to Sonoma, California this coming week.
Very good.
Yeah, road race, and there are some of the road race specialists that will be in it, and Boris Said being one of them, and he's a favorite with everybody.
Yep. It's his hair.
Oh, I think so.
It's that crazy hair that he's got.
But anyways, it's back to you, Rick.
Thank you. Yeah, and Sonoma is a beautiful track too. Mike and I happened to get up there and see a NASCAR race at Sonoma, and it is one of the most beautiful tracks in the world. All right, a couple quick things before we get down into the bunker with Tarzan. We've got there's a fundraiser coming up on Sunday, July 13th, up at Gino's Bar and Grill, and it's about a month away. So I'll announce it every week until it happens. But it's a fundraiser for a little girl named Sage Liberty, who has a rare heart condition and she needs immediate attention. So they're holding a fundraiser at Gino's Bar and Grill up on Court Street. There is an admission charge. There's door prizes and raffles. There'll be entertainment by Jonathan Scott and the Blazing Hearts Band. It's a very good band. But it's to raise money to help the family with the costs incurred, and I guess she's gonna be having the operation at Boston Children's Hospital. So in July, says the parents will be bringing her down in July, and she needs immediate attention. So that's one of those things that it gets me, because it's a clear-cut case of the fact that I've always said, good health shouldn't be a privilege. This little girl, a child, has a heart condition, needs an operation. She should just be able to get it. Because if she doesn't get it, she will die. Plain and simple. So in my mind, if she walks into a doctor and says, I need this heart operation, and the doctor says, I'm sorry, you don't have any money, when this little girl dies, charge the doctor with murder. Because he could have saved her life. But they don't, because, who wants to save a life if they're not getting paid for it? Apparently. But that's just my whole thing about good health should be a right and not a privilege. There should be no cost associated with health care. If you grow up wanting to be a doctor, you grow up wanting to help people. You sign your name, that Hippocratic oath or Hippocratic oath or whatever. It's pretty much a hypocritic oath these days, because they say we will treat you regardless of age, race, sex, gender, financial status. You become a doctor because you want to help people. You don't become a doctor to get rich. But these days, people become doctors to get rich. And it's wrong. So, anyway. But, yeah, give the little girl a chance. Anyway. But that's what the fundraiser is going to be, July 13th at Geno's. And we're all set up in the bunker. Back with us again. All the way from Harrisville is Tarzan. What's going on, brother?
What the hell's going on out there, Rick?
How you been, man?
Hey, I've been okay. As a matter of fact, Rick, I feel privileged to be even around lately, and with a few deaths in the family, that's all right. But I want to send a blessing out of the best to all the troops and their families. I want to send a shout out to Phil Hilliker, United States Marine Corps veteran. Keep on watching the show, Phil. Rick's been doing a really bang-up job, him and the crew lately. I'm really happy to be here to see your show lately, Rick. It's been pretty good. I'm going to keep it on a lighter note tonight, Rick. The only number I'm giving you tonight, Rick, is Tarzan's top 10 favorite movies, Rick. I've been dying, itching to do this. Nobody's asked me. Nobody probably gives a damn. But here goes. In at 10, Straw Dogs. If you want to talk about it, you can wait till after. Papillon, in at 9. Deliverance, number 8. Number 7, I can't see it. Deer Hunter for number 7. Crimson Tide in at 6. Platoon, number 5. Killing Floor is number 4. Deer Hunter again at number 3, because I really like that movie. Best Game in the World, number 2. Andrea knows what I'm talking about. And King Kong at number 1 with Jack Black, I mean. That's my list, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And I really hope that that little kid gets the help that she needs, Rick. That's a very passionate story. It takes a lot not to talk about yourself, but it takes a lot to talk about other people and their problems, and try to get the word out on maybe a party or a fundraiser. It's really a stand-up job you do by doing that, Rick.
Well, thank you, Tarzan.
You know what, Rick? With that, Tarzan's out of here.
All right, brother. Hey, I got to tell you, Tarzan, there was a guy, we did graduation on Friday, and parked right next to the control tent. This old gentleman got out of his car and made the remark that he wished it was World War II again. And I said, what? He was a World War II veteran. He said, 17 years old, he says, I was storming Omaha Beach. And he got there was no big graduation ceremony for him. I think he was kind of blown away at the festivities out there at Alumni Field.
Yeah.
But
it's funny, we we look back at our veterans, my uncle was a tech sergeant in the Air Force, my old man was in the Army, and my other uncle was Marine Corps, Navy. You know, it's been run through my whole family, all were veterans. The whole crew here is, we're all veterans. We
Yep.
all understand what it's all about.
That's
This
right.
whole death and destruction. I can't give you a number anymore, Rick. I can't take it. My heart just breaks.
That's
you
all
know?
right, Tarzan.
Maybe it's good karma. Maybe it's the medication doing what it's supposed to do. But hey, thanks a lot, Rick.
No problem, buddy.
Out of here.
All right. And one quick story before we go into our Mom's Tattoo musical interlude. I want to make an announcement. The owner, if you lost an object at Walmart last week, a certain cellophane full of reefer, you can't go to Walmart and claim that anymore. You'll have to go to, I believe, Keene Police Department took over the handling and finding out of who that belongs to. But I'm sure if you're missing your little cellophane packet of weed, go down to the cops, and I'm sure they'd be happy to at least discuss. They might let you look at it. I don't know. But anyway, I thought that story was hilarious. And I've got a couple other kind of funny stories for after the musical interlude. So it's time, and this is the 12th of Never, the Mom's musical interlude.
Who feels the sting now?
The 12th of Never. They were one of the best bands that were there, I got to tell you. All right, where do I want to go? Let's go. Another funny story out of Michigan City, Indiana. It appears the local zoo had an escape. Yeah, workers were cleaning the moat of the monkey cage of the monkey area. And one of the spider monkeys managed to scale the wall. He used a garden hose to scale the walls of the moat and broke out. A spider monkey. He was new to the zoo. It happened at the Washington Park Zoo. And it says the monkey made it past the moat, grabbed the water hose, and jumped onto the roof of a water filtration plant. And apparently the zoo staff pursued, and I believe it was a high-speed chase or a low-speed chase or some type of monkey chase. And it ended up, they finally busted the little spider monkey at a boat dealership, sitting on a blue and white speedboat. Apparently waiting for the key or something so he could make his real escape. But the key wasn't there. His plan was foiled. If you're a monkey trying to escape from the zoo, make sure your accomplice has got his stuff together, or you'll get busted before you even get out. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Just an oversight on the accomplice's part. Didn't leave the key. Otherwise, the monkey would have been long gone. This other one, kind of funny, but kind of not funny. From Winslow, Maine. It's real close. A Winslow ice cream shop is being fined $1,500 because one of their freezers had an inoperable latch. And one of the employees locked herself in the freezer for 4 hours. Yeah. It was Smiley's Old Fashioned Ice Cream. And they've got until July 3rd to contest the OSHA citation. It was a 21-year-old girl. She was taking inventory when she got locked in the freezer where the temperature was 10 below. Yeah. It doesn't say if she had a jacket on, but I know the lady that does the inventory in our freezer at Athens, she puts her coat on when she goes in. But when the girl was found 4 hours later, she told her coworkers that she was so cold she thought she was going to die. She was taken and treated at the hospital, so I don't know. She'll probably never go into a freezer again. Probably one of those, things that'll last forever. But I thought it was kind of funny, kind of sad in other respects. I've been talking the last few weeks a lot about Woodstock. And, the big outdoor festival, I think, is, for the most part, gone by the wayside. I think. I mean, you still have your concerts at places like Meadowbrook and, the Tweeter Center down in Mansfield, Mass. These big outdoor venues. But they're very strictly, it's not like the old-time festivals. And I read about this one from Manchester, Tennessee. The Bonnaroo Music Festival got underway. And it had started off last Friday when two of the members of Metallica introduced the host of the thing, or whatever he was, Chris Rock. They introduced Chris Rock. Chris Rock came out and did a set and then introduced Metallica. So, and it doesn't say if any other bands what other bands were playing.
Yeah, it's like a 3 or 4 day festival.
It's basically, it's a long festival, but it started it began in 2002 primarily as a jam band event. And it's the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. And it's probably a lot of smaller bands, not so many big name bands, but maybe there was. I didn't really see a whole lot of it other than just this one article. But apparently Chris Rock, you know, did all his bits about the election and Anna Nicole Smith and high gas prices. And this is the one they quoted. Chris Rock says, if I invade IHOP, pancakes are going to be cheaper in my house. He was talking about the fact that we invaded Iraq and gas isn't cheaper. But yeah, I mean, if you invaded, you know, a McDonald's, wouldn't you wouldn't expect to be paying $2 for a Big Mac if you owned the McDonald's. You know, I don't know. But it's another one, you know, I think we need to get back to this. And I was looking for an attendance number too. And I couldn't find one. But, you know, I remember the early 80s. We used to have big, like, not festivals, but we would have entire day-long 5-6 band concerts at the fairgrounds. And we'd get 30, 40, 50,000 people would pack into the fairgrounds. And I don't ever remember a whole lot of trouble. But, I mean, and you don't see that anymore. I've been trying to find out about when I was a kid, I went with some friends of mine over to Newfane, Vermont, and they had an entire weekend-long bluegrass festival and fiddlers contest in Newfane. And that was, when you think of bluegrass and fiddle music, you kind of think of country. But it surprised me because there were more like hippie people there with their blankets and their jugs of wine and their joints. And you know, it was a layout in the sun and all just hang out together and enjoy the music and the nature. But I don't know, I'm not sure where it's all going to. And of course, nobody does free concerts anymore. It's just, I don't know. But it's weird.
Keene Music Fest.
The Keene Music Festival. Yeah. But I mean, that would be a different type of event if it was in somebody's field somewhere. You know, one of these huge fields in Roxbury. You know, or in Sullivan. You know, the site of the old bar up there in Sullivan, the Ridge. Way up there on the hill. And it's just all open area. Yeah, I mean, Barrett's Farm. Or to Harrisville. Someplace in Harrisville. No, Harrisville people don't like the noise. So I heard Jack got busted for being too loud in Harrisville. Not good. But anyway, I think we need more of that. We need more of if you're a musician and you love to play, you know, why not get together? It takes a little bit of planning, but pick a day. And I mean, I don't think there's been a band in the Robin Hood Amphitheater forever. You know, it's been a long time since I think the amphitheater up there at Robin Hood Park, they've had anything in. And that's what that was designed for. You know, you can hold, couple hundred people up there maybe. But just do something to, I don't know. All right, something that was free, and for those who were there, very enjoyable, was high school graduation. And we filmed it, as usual. Cheshire TV filmed it. Has DVDs for sale. Very nice packaging that Lee and Nick have put together. And I don't know if, Bruce, if you can maybe get Nick to toss one of those CD cases in, one of those DVD cases in, so I can show the finished product. And I mean, it was great. The close-up camera that we had this year on the kids walking as they came across the stage was set up in a way that I didn't have to keep telling people to get out of the way, you know? Thanks, Greg. So, yeah, it's a real basic, I don't know, can Greg get a shot of that? Probably. Just a really nice looking DVD. And I believe, is the disc in here? No. But they've got the discs labeled with the Cheshire TV logo and you know, the titles of Bennett's high school graduation, 2008.
Nick says they're $20 a piece for anybody who's interested. They can contact them down here at Cheshire TV.
Yes, $20 a piece. And yeah, I mean, they make fantastic gifts for the grandparents, the relatives that are across the country that couldn't get to Keene to see graduation. I mean, I never had the ceremony. And being there filming, I was running the camera at the end of the stage, which Lee seems to like because here's the lineup on the stage, Greg. It was Neil Donegan, and then it was a couple other of them high muckety-muck school board people, and then there was the principal of the high school, and then there was me. And there were kids that shook my hand too. At least a few of them stopped, which was nice. And I did notice, of course, when you're running a camera at an event like that, you can't really pay attention to the event because you're basically working. But I did watch graduation on DVD. It came out fantastic. And the speakers, the student speakers that got up and spoke, the one girl got up and was comparing things with, I believe she was comparing like high school to riding shotgun in a car, and all the things that the person that rides shotgun is responsible. And then the kid that gave the farewell speech did an amazing job, and I can't remember their names. But very articulate kids. They all gave very great, kind of inspiring type of speeches. Very heartfelt. You could tell they put a lot of work into them. They didn't just come out and do like I do, just start talking. They all had stuff actually written down. But it struck me that the girl that was, especially the girl that was talking about, the car analogy, and riding in a car. Well, here's the deal, guys. All you people that just graduated, you've just been promoted from shotgun to driver. That's right, because before this past Friday when you graduated, if the car started to get out of control, the driver was there to help bring it back into control. But now it's all on you. You guys have the wheel in your hands. And when you blow a front tire and start to skid out of control, you're the only one that's got the power to pull out of it. That's all I'm saying. That's my analogy. I'm basically saying, high school graduates, here's what you got to look forward to. A lifetime of breaking your back for the man, making way under the amount of money that you think you're worth, working every day with no summer vacations, because I don't know a job where you get summer vacations. No, teachers don't get summer vacation. The high school is still jumping with activity and will be all summer. Yeah, teachers got to work. They got to get ready for next year's class. Go through all the self-defense training and your class, Rob. Oh, you're a senior next year. Excellent. Yeah, or go out and find that second job. But yeah, I mean, teachers, that's another thing that upsets me is the fact that these, again, people that play games, the football players, the baseball players, the basketball players, the best medical attention they get and the billions and millions of dollars that they get, and teachers are lucky if they can even, make it to that poverty level line. And you have to, spend 5 years at Keene High School before you get that bump in your pay that you go, woohoo, I'm above the poverty line now. But just barely. I don't know. And the school cuts back again and you lose the money. So, but I mean, it's just the teachers, people need to get priorities and their thinking straight. You need to pay the people what they deserve to be paid. And a teacher and a fireman and a cop all deserve to make 10 times the amount of money as any of these baseball or football players. Figure a football player works 26 weeks a year, 30 weeks a year maybe.
The football player?
Yeah.
The whole year, I think.
Well, other than
That's
like
training
just
and
work,
stuff.
off-season workouts and
Right.
stuff. I mean, that's hit the gym and go home for the day. One of the Swamp Bats guys on Chris and Randy did their show last week from Alumni Field, taped it in the afternoon. And, of course, the Swamp Bats guys gave Chris a hat because they were getting glare or something. So they gave him a Swamp Bats hat and told him to cover it up. And I think Randy put on a Swamp Bats hat just so that it didn't look like Chris was being singled out. But they did a good show. Had a little bit of audio problems because it was windy, and wind affects microphones, any kind of little sound. But they talked to a bunch of the kids, a bunch of the graduating seniors, and they talked to the principal of the high school, and they talked to the Swamp Bats, Kevin Watterson's from the Swamp Bats. And he was saying even their off days aren't off days. Their off day consists of go in the morning, get your batting practice done, maybe a little bit of gym work, and then enjoy the rest of the day. Maybe half day. But teachers still deserve way more money than baseball players, basketball players. They deserve more recognition than the people that we put up on pedestals. We put people up on pedestals like these football players, and we hold them up so high, and our kids look up to them so much that when the football player gets busted with a joint or whatever, you know, it's devastating and it's huge news. You know, why not have our kids look up at teachers like that? That's what we should focus on. You know, say football players are nothing. Football players are just guys that were too stupid to get real jobs.
What are you trying to say?
Come on, Rob. Now, are you going to make football a life?
No.
No?
No.
Why? Because you're smarter than that. Right? Right. All right. That's all I'm saying. You know, I think teachers should, you know, we got to reverse the stuff. You know, a kid shouldn't look up to a baseball player or a football player because they're a football player or a baseball player. Look up to a teacher because a teacher is the one, or one of the ones, that's responsible for the way that you are as an adult. And nobody ever thinks back and says, oh yeah, I'm this way because, you know, one of my teachers inspired me or something, you know. Personally, but I feel left out because when I look around at the stuff that you kids are getting in school today that we didn't have when I was in school, I feel like I got cheated. Really. I do. We had Nate sell video. High school whiz kid when it came to all this camera and TV stuff. We didn't have that stuff when I was in school. We had a little radio station, which, if you were one of 12 kids that was lucky enough to be able to get into the class, and I believe it was taught by the same guy that's out there now, wasn't that Mr. Abbott?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian Abbott's he's still there. Oh, you took the class?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I knew a bunch of guys that were in that. And I don't know. Anyway, the teachers are important. Graduation was great. It was really great. It came out fantastic on film. I think a lot of people really enjoyed it. And it was a nice day for it. 5 minutes. All right, let me get into this because this is horrible. And unlike Hurricane Katrina, when New Orleans completely flooded and levees broke, we've got the Midwest now, where it's been raining for like 40 days and 40 nights or something, and the levees are breaking and the rivers are flooding, but nobody's up there taking away those people's guns. The National Guard's not up there saying, come on, all you white Midwesterners, we want your guns. We're not seeing the news reports of any looting. So apparently the entire Midwest is flooding, and there's no looting. Nobody's acting up in the Midwest. I haven't seen anything. Of course, I haven't seen FEMA on the site. President Bush just barely got around to making his trip out there assessing the damage after a week. And somebody said he was overseas. Now, personally, if I'm the leader of a country and half of my country is underwater, I'm going to come home. I'm not going to finish my trip to the third world countries at a war to look at their droughts. I'm going to come home and try and figure out how we can ship our water to them. You know, and the way I'm thinking is, if we get really lucky, if the Midwest gets really lucky, a bunch of huge tornadoes will come and suck all the water right out. That's all I need, is a couple of good tornadoes. Then it'd dry up the place in no time. Suck all the water out and put it somewhere else. Someplace that maybe needs it. Like the South. I think they're in drought conditions. Or I know there's someplace that's in drought conditions. And another 3 months, the Midwest will be in drought conditions again. They should bottle it or do something with it, yes.
Bottle it, jeez.
One of the major problems with the flooding in the Midwest, it's going to affect some prices, much like high gas prices do. For one thing, these people can't plant their corn. This is an entire state, the entire states that depend on corn. We now make ethanol out of corn. Guess what? Price of gas just went up because the price of ethanol just went up. Because we don't have the corn to make the ethanol with. So sure, it's going to be, you know, and if you want corn on the cob, you're not going to get much corn on the cob in the supermarkets because all the corn producing states are all underwater. They may, you know, the price of rice may drop because rice is grown in deep water. But anything that you need dry land to grow, it's not going to grow. And I think it's just the earth, you know, finally saying, look, well, I've had enough, and I'm going to do something to get rid of you people. All right. For those of you Cheshire TV viewers, up next on No Spin, Chris had to work tonight, so Dave Richards, City Councilman Dave Richards will be joining Randy. They'll be talking about the budget, which was passed on Thursday night. They'll be talking about the airport and everything else involving Keene and the budget. If it's got a dollar sign or it says Keene, Dave and Randy will talk about it. And they won't have any other guests. It's just Dave and Randy gonna talk about the budget for the entire hour, and they probably still won't have enough time. I want to thank my crew, thank Tarzan, thank Cheshire TV, Manchester Community Access TV, Mom's Tattoo, Gemini Screen Print.
Hi, this is Mikey from Orange County Choppers, and you're watching Channel 8.
There you go.
Thanks, man.